days, treating a disease might be of concern, but diagnosis of disease seems to be has more obstacle and is of primary concern. Identification and validation of a biomarker is given more preference in the current scientific community, which we have seen in earlier presentations. In short, the definition of biomarker is an biological indicator which can be measurable. Identification and characterization of biomarker requires lots of research and relatively take large amount of time. Instead, we may utilize the existing published data to find out a biomarker, and further we validate it very easily. To answer this question, I say yes, and my presentation today on bilirubin as biological marker is going to explain this. So quickly, we will have an significance of this bilirubin. It is an end product of heme catabolism, and the normal values ranging from 0.1 to 1 mg per dl, and it is 1 to 12 in newborns as liver function starts after few hours of the birth, and it has been excreted through hepatobiliary system, and the increased levels of bilirubin known to cause jaundice and neuronal toxicity. Coming to the importance of this biomarker, in 1950s, one of the publications shown that bilirubin is a putative antioxidant, and it is more putative antioxidant than the ascorbic acid. Since then, many studies are published showing that bilirubin as anti-inflammatory, cytoprotective, immune modulator and drug-induced toxin. With this information, bilirubin may play a critical role in cardiovascular, neuronal, hepatobiliary and pulmonary system, and also the immune system. So keeping this as a background, bilirubin can be a reliable diagnostic marker for multiple diseases and has a potential therapeutic relevance. We came up with certain objectives to showcase this. Is there any general trend observed between serum bilirubin level and the therapeutic classes like metabolic, cardiovascular, oncology, neurology and respiratory? And how bilirubin levels can help in determining the risk or diagnosis of an indication within a therapeutic class? And also we have seen that are there any contradictory or exceptional reports being published? And the known fact is that the bilirubin is being measured earlier as a safety biomarker. We have seen that association too in terms of drug class to the hyperbilirubinemia. We tried to perform a cumulative research analysis on bilirubin marker based on the data published in scientific journals and clinical trials using GOBIOM database. Here comes what is GOBIOM database. It is a GVK Bio online biomarker database, consists of around 32,000 biomarkers till date with an 18 therapeutic areas with 1200 indications manually curated from 135,000 references, and the references are from clinical trials and its results scientific conferences, PubMed database, and pre-marketing approval databases, FDA approved documents, and patents. And we support all biomarker research at every stage of its R&D, and also we are in tune with scientific research activities. Just to show the methodology what we followed to retrieve this information, we extract the studies where bilirubin reported as a diagnostic marker from the GOBIOM database, and we categorized this data based on the levels of bilirubin given in a disease as lower and higher. Further, we categorized this data based on its utility, that is in terms of diagnosis as well safety. Further, we made a summary based meta-analysis to explore the relation between bilirubin and therapeutic class followed by indication, and also to explore the relation between the molecular class of drugs and hyperbilirubinemia. So when we have seen the category of lower bilirubin levels and its association with different therapeutic indications, therapeutic classes such as cardiovascular system, respiratory system, and eye and musculoskeletal systems are seen to be shown lower bilirubin levels. When we go in depth into the details of the indications against each therapeutic class, the trend of circulatory system seems to be low, but the respiratory system, few of these studies shown that the childhood asthma levels of bilirubin are being increased. Going to the higher levels of bilirubin association with different therapeutic indications, the trend seems to be same, higher levels with digestive system, nervous system, infectious, endocrine, and oncology. And this data is being taken from the 99 studies reported in the public literature. Here, coming to the disease of the digestive system, the trend seems to be higher for the bilirubin levels from appendicitis to biliary atresia, wherein the exception would be in non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. And in nervous system, encephalopathy is seen to be shown higher levels of bilirubin along with the stroke. This is also in trend with the higher bilirubin levels, and most of the infectious diseases seems to be shown higher levels of bilirubin. But coming to the endocrine, nutritional, metabolic diseases, metabolic syndrome and diabetes are seen to show lower levels of bilirubin compared to the Gilbert syndrome and hyperbilirubinemia. Similarly, in oncology, there are few reports showing that the colorectal cancer and lung cancer seems to be showing lower bilirubin levels compared to the hepatocellular and pancreatic cancers showing higher levels of bilirubin. Further, we made an analysis to see that whether there is an association between bilirubin and any other parameters involved in this process, including the biological process. Here, the lower levels of bilirubin might be increasing oxidative stress with decreased nitric oxide, and the increased inflammatory cytokines might be influencing the cardiovascular or respiratory diseases risk. Few of these studies also shown that apoptosis of pancreatic islet cells with increased HbA1c and insulin resistance may be leading to the risk of diabetes. In the other category of high levels of bilirubin, shown to increase inflammation with an increased TNF alpha, IL-1B and IL-6, and also the oxidation of lipids with an increased reactive oxygen species may influence the risk of neuronal, infectious and cancer diseases. The last objective of our study to establish a relation between the molecular class of drug to hyperbilirubinemia. Most of these studies are shown to be higher levels of bilirubin after treatment with anti-cancer drugs. Here I have shown from 120 studies, it is been evident that the bilirubin levels are more after treatment with anti-cancer drugs, followed by antiviral, immunomodulatory and antimicrobial drug classes. With this, I conclude the cumulative literature analysis shows that bilirubin plays a potential role in the development or protection of multiple diseases, and might be the higher levels of bilirubin shows a protective effect against cardiovascular diseases, and UGT1A1 is a major gene controlling the serum bilirubin concentrations. These concentrations may be influenced by some of the intrinsic and extrinsic factors which are likely to influence biological impact of bilirubin on human body. It is shown that anti-neoplastic drugs induce more hyperbilirubinemia compared to other classes. The other points which we need to explore is some of the pharmacological and non-pharmacological or genetic interventions that may modulate bilirubin concentration would provide more effective therapeutic strategies. Before that, we may need further research to be conducted to establish the mechanism between the bilirubin and its association with multiple indications and establish its role as a diagnostic or risk marker. So with this, I say thank you all for your kind attention and your presence till the last presentation.
Thank you. Very nice presentation. I was just wondering, this is a sort of literature data analysis. Are you going to actually validate your findings by doing a blind analysis and looking at maybe the predictability of these bilirubin levels in a population?
Yeah, the N represents the population number here in this presentation.
Yeah.
This is like a cumulative analysis from different publications,
yes.
And this is as is information we have presented here.
Okay. And then in the sort of drug treated, in the drug effects,
drug induced.
Yeah, how much of what you're seeing is the underlying disease versus the drug itself? Can you deconvolute?
Maybe. Maybe.
Other questions from the audience?
So just a quick question. The database you mentioned, this is free access. Anyone can find this through the internet and log in and use it, or how does it work?
No, this is basically a commercial database. But maybe for academics, I may give the access to users of their convenience.
Thank you.
And also I would like to announce the access to this database to all the attendees of this conference being given. If you could allow me to use your email IDs printed below your abstracts in the abstract book, I may set up your login credentials and I will send an email to you personally.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.